perhaps one of the biggest stories in modern history, and that is the possibility that, in fact, the White House is for sale, and that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, was indeed allowing his son and his son's associates to effectively broker influence. I mean, that's actually the big story, right? But interesting how that story comes out. Devon Archer goes in to testify. By the way, nothing's a coincidence here. Over the weekend, the Justice Department was trying to speed up his jail time, saying, you got to start early, you got to start early. Can we get a date on that jail time? Very interesting timing. He goes in and testifies, and no sooner does that happen than we get this indictment of Donald Trump for January 6th. What the left doesn't realize here, or maybe they do. I mean, if you're a real conspiracy theorist, their theory, there are some that think that, well, if he gets the nomination, then a lot of people will come to vote against him. Anyway, I would just say this. Every single time they try to take him down, they actually make him a whole lot stronger. He knows it. The Democrats ought to know it. Here's Donald Trump's response to this indictment. Take a listen.
Win back the White House. We will make America great again. I have no doubt about it. They come at me from left. They come at me from right. The rhinos, the communists, the Marxists, the fascists. We will not only survive, we will be stronger than ever before.
Okay. And I would bet you anything that if you look at his poll numbers in the coming days, you will see that, in fact, they are stronger than ever before. I mean, he's already way up there in the polls. It's kind of freaking people over at the New York Times out just a little bit. Mainstream media had a story, in fact, just the day before the whole Devon Archer testimony, the day before the indictment came out, that, wow, you know what? He's killing it. He is way ahead, and he very likely could be the next president of the United States because, let's face it, Joe Biden is not exactly what you would call that enticing a candidate. Then you couple in the Devon Archer stuff, which, again, I want to get to the comments he just made to Tucker Carlson, and you've got real problems. But you go back to even what he was saying to Axios on HBO just a few months back, and here he is. Joe Biden doesn't seem to get the problem, really, that his son is in, and the problems that he therefore put his father in.
To serve on the board of a Ukrainian energy company facing serious corruption charges, you were the vice president running point on Ukraine. The average Joe hears that and says, that sounds fishy. What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. And there's nobody...
Well, you've had a lot of time. Isn't this something you want to get to the bottom of?
No, because I trust my son.
But that doesn't pass the smell test. Like, when you're vice president, isn't there a higher standard? Don't you need to know what's happening with your family? Don't you need to put down some guardrails?
Unless there was something that was, something on its face that was wrong.
I mean, maybe just a little something wrong, like not paying your taxes. That might kind of be a big deal, not reporting your income. Maybe, the fact that he says, I trust my son. Maybe the fact that your son had a drug addiction. Maybe the fact that your son took up with, unfortunately, I hate even saying this, the widow of his brother, his deceased brother. Maybe some of those things might have actually caused you to say, maybe I need to think twice about this one. Maybe we ought to dot the I's, cross the T's, and maybe, just maybe you shouldn't take that gig for $80,000 a month with Burisma, given how this might just look, right? How this just might appear. So that's kind of the big story that's going on. Devon Archer testifying effectively that they were selling influence. They were selling the Biden family name. That's what they were making money on. That's why they had all these deals all over the world. Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.